As a result of Brexit, Great Britain is no longer involved in important security databases in the Schengen area. A setback in the fight against terrorism, but is that the case for all of Europe? Neil Basu is the UK's top anti-terrorist investigator. He heads the Special Operations Department of the London Metropolitan Police. A few weeks ago, he was very concerned about the possible effects of the Brexit agreement on the work of the British security authorities. We have to negotiate a security agreement that neither maintains or improves the current position, Basu said in an interview with the BBC. This is incredibly important for the security of our country. Shortly before the completion of Brexit at the turn of the year, the trade and cooperation agreement between the United Kingdom and the Union was passed, the rules of which are now in force. It is primarily about the economy, but cooperation in the security sector and in the judiciary had also been reorganized, but not in all detail. But it already seems clear, leaving the EU could have far-reaching consequences for Great Britain's security authorities and also for authorities in other European countries. The previous cooperation has often been helpful in the fight against Islamist terrorism and organized crime. In the EU security area, so it was written in a letter from the German Federal Ministry of the Interior, Great Britain played a central role as a source of information and impetus. In order to continue to ensure a fast exchange of data between the British and EU police authorities, further agreements are probably necessary. In some areas, however, the cooperation remains almost unchanged. The British authorities should continue to have access to the passenger name record, the PNR, the network databases in which information about passengers is stored. The European Criminal Records Information System, the ECRIS, in which judgments are stored, can still be viewed. The possibility for British criminal prosecutors to query DNA, vehicle registration numbers and fingerprints in national databases in accordance with the Prüm Treaty will also continue to exist. However, as a result of Brexit, the British police will lose a permanent seat in the European Police Authority, Europol, and will only have liaison officers. Direct access to one of the most important databases for European law enforcement officers will also be lost, the Schengen Information System, the SIS. And that system is a valuable tool for the investigators to search for criminals, to prevent the entry of terrorists, or to prevent extremists from traveling follow. The SIS was introduced after the abolition of border controls in the Schengen area in the 1990s to facilitate Europe-wide searches. So far, police authorities from 30 countries, 26 EU member states, as well as Switzerland, Norway, Iceland and Liechtenstein, have been able to access the database directly, carry out queries or list people, ID documents, vehicles, weapons and other objects for search. For example, numerous jihadists who have traveled to Syria and Iraq, so-called foreign terrorist fighters, are recorded in the database. As of December 2019, around 90 million data records were stored in the SIS. Most of the tenders were initiated by Italy, France and Germany. Around 4.6 million searches were fed in from Great Britain. The British police have also been among the front runners when it comes to querying the database. The system was accessed more than 6 billion times in 2019. With around 570 million queries, Great Britain was the third most frequent user after France and Spain, closely followed by Germany with around 555 million queries. The loss of access to the SIS system would have serious operational effects, warned Martin Hewitt, chairman of the British Law Enforcement Agency, in a letter to the British Parliament's Home Affairs Committee in early November. For the time being, only Interpol remains as an alternative search system, but there are far fewer alerts there. Other instruments of law enforcement, such as the European Investigation Order or the European Arrest Warrant, could only be used in a much more complicated manner in the future. The EU has concluded its own agreements on this with other non-member states such as Norway or Iceland. However, These states are part of the Schengen area and can therefore control arrest warrants via the SIS system, said police officer Hewitt. Britain may not get the same benefits. And I must agree there, because the others are members of Schengen, the British are not. So that would absolutely make no sense if the British get the same access as a member once again. The new agreement between the UK and the EU is unlikely to have any impact on the cooperation between secret services within Europe, though. Shortly after the Brexit vote in June 2016, the heads of the British secret services, MI5, MI6 and GCHQ, had sent a letter to their European colleagues assuring them that they would continue to work together and exchange information. The German services are also not unhappy about this. They had received important information from Great Britain several times in the past few years. For example, that an Islamist from Cologne had placed a suspicious order on the internet in 2018. The man had ordered thousands upon thousands of seeds of the castor plant from which a deadly poison can be extracted, apparently to commit an attack. And if you now want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel and my other channels. I'll see you in my next video. Bis bald.